Hackers.com.
Life is like a story with many paths to choose. I gotta get some good friends to help me make it through. So here's the plan, just take my hand, the adventure's just begun. And all we have to do is turn to page fun.
Warning. Do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have when you travel to China for a kung fu tour with your best friend. From time to time as you read along, you will be asked to make a choice. Your choice may lead to success or disaster. Each adventure you take is a result of your choice. You are responsible because you choose. After you make a choice, follow the instructions to see what happens next. Think carefully before you make a decision. Young tourists visiting China have been vanishing mysteriously. If you don't find your best friend soon, you may spend your entire vacation fighting against ninja alone. Good luck.
Oh boy.
And here's the theme song in the right place.
I was gonna say.
Hello.
Yeah.
And welcome to Turn to Page Fun, the only podcast where I, your host, Nick Fear, read through a bunch of Choose Your Own Adventure books that I found in the attic of my partner's parents' house, and read through them with a bunch of my friends. An idea that is so good, I immediately stole it from her and froze her out of the production process. This week, we return to navigate the subtle racism of Master of Kung Fu. Written by Richard Brightfield, who I am pretty confident has no idea what he's writing about. By Bantam Publishing, copyright 1989. And with me this week, I have my very good friend and English tutor, mad scientist, bad backhaver, and meanest person I know, Miss Stacy Blosky. Hi, Stacy.
Hi. It's actually a bad left butt haver.
Oh.
My back is all right. It's the part around my back.
Sexier.
This is Sexy Hackers.
Butt talk with sexy hackers.
Sexy backers.
We returned to butt talk with Sexy Hackers. Over on my right, I have my good friend, musician, improviser, writer, Mr. Brian Bear. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Nick.
How is your week been?
It's been good. I'm a little tired, but I'm excited to get back to all the kung fu and subtle racism. Actually,
Yes.
I'm not excited about the subtle racism.
No, it's been a challenge.
You've been doing the Lord's work.
For those of you who have been listening to the last two episodes, many of the characters are written in offensive pidgin English, which
Yeah.
I have been desperately trying not to read because I don't think it really adds anything.
It really doesn't.
I mean, it does. It adds a lot of racism. And we're trying not to add that in.
Yeah.
It's like
there's
raisins and
enough of it.
cookies. We don't want
Right.
that.
It's like,
Ooh.
oh, I thought those were
Controversial.
chocolate chips.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
was the
Some
hard-
people like raisins and cookies, and that's fine. But when you're expecting a chocolate chip and you get a raisin, it's the worst.
Well, I mean, all you have to do is just make it an oatmeal cookie, and then it's acceptable. But like, don't spring that on like a normal cookie.
Yeah. We're just
Yeah.
trying to eat some cookies here. Don't
Yeah.
be a dick about it.
Don't be a dick about the cookies. Cookies are for sometimes, Brian.
That's true. Nom 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 nom. All right.
And then finally, all the way over on my right, I have multiple improviser, actor, other amazing things. What other things? Musician as well.
Yeah.
Songstress. Mrs. Liv Schursel. Hi, Liv.
Oh, yeah, it's me. Hi.
It's you.
Yeah.
How's your week been?
My week's been good. Yeah. That's it. I was gonna say something else about it, but I can't remember.
All right.
That's how you know it's a good one.
Must have been a lie.
Yeah.
That's what
we do.
everybody's old Midwest relative would tell them when they forgot something that they were saying. It must have been a lie.
Or it must not have been very important.
That's what I got. Now
Yeah,
my
that's what I
partner
grew up
got
with.
must have been a lie, which
Oh.
I think is meaner than
Yeah, me
I
too.
don't know
I
which
did
one's
that.
meaner.
Judge
It's
I
like,
got If it's important, it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's still passive aggressive, but that's still kind of like I still believe in you. Whereas
You were about to-
must have been a lie. You're a liar and a naughty child.
You were
Or-
about to lie to me, but you couldn't go through with it, you coward.
It's almost less Midwest to say it must have been a lie. To me,
Yeah.
the most Midwest is to passive aggressively tell someone they're dumb.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well,
or
it's not a
what
very-
they were feeling is not important.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I was like, oh, I forgot. Oh, must not. If it was really important, you would be able to say it now, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm
Oh, yeah, that's
withering
right.
in front of your.
That's
Rough
right.
childhoods
I picked
here.
up bird poop. Thanks for shaking my hand.
Yeah. Well, must have been a lie. All right. On that, we are going to remember what is going on in Master of Kung Fu. So when you open up Master of Kung Fu, you are going to read through 7 pages of introduction, and which is the longest intro we've ever had in a Choose Your Own Adventure book.
Kept going.
Just kept going. And what happens is you are on a trip with your friend who does study Kung Fu, and you're just a tag along, and you get
Fast
to
cookie.
Shanghai, and his camera is stolen. He tries to chase after the camera thief. And then he disappears. You try to find him for a little bit. You walk into a camera store. They say, oh, we don't know anything about what you're talking about. And then you get discouraged and go back and check into your hotel. And then your choice is whether or not to get on the tour bus, which takes you into a magical land of going back in time.
Back in time. It was back in time.
Okay.
Which turns out to have not been back in time because it was all
But
a
a
dream.
dream on the plane.
Possibly, yes.
Right.
A dream.
Yes.
Or you can choose to be a friend and
Only now? Well, yeah.
be a friend and try to find your friend in Shanghai, which leads you to team up with the White Lotus Society.
Right.
Stay in China for a month.
Yep.
Learn all of the kung fu that you
Yep.
possibly need to hunt down a master ninja, which happens to be your friend.
Yeah.
Only that was probably a lie.
Must have been a lie.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Although we did remember.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just also a lie.
Right.
So those are your choices. So we're going to go back and see what happens if rather than following the man that stole the camera that led us to the White Lotus Society.
Right.
That trained us for a month, and nobody seemed to mind that we were lost in China for a month.
Yep.
Even though we are a young
Child.
pre-adolescent child,
Right. Child.
or adolescent child in
I mean,
China
it was
on
the
their own.
80s.
It
The
was-
80s parents are like, they're probably off with their
90s, yeah.
friends.
Yep.
Yeah. So
lot of
this
leeway.
time we're going to go ahead and go to the Photoshop again.
Yeah.
To see what happens with that and see if they have any information.
If we go to the Photoshop, they'll just add Billy into the picture. Oh, wait. That's the wrong kind of Photoshop. Never mind.
You decide to continue your search for Billy. It takes you over an hour to find the photo store. Hello? Anyone here? You yell. No one answers. The store is deserted. You hear nothing except the rumble of traffic from the street outside. A small movement toward the back of the store catches your eye. It's a beaded curtain rustling gently. It could just be the breeze or someone brushing against it. You walk to the curtain and yank it open.
Comes crashing to the floor.
Yeah, you can't be rough with beaded curtains.
Yeah,
no,
this-
they don't like it.
This isn't even your shop. Come on.
Half of it gets tangled, the other half just tears down. Ugh. I've always had a hard time with beaded curtains.
It shows.
I had a beading curtain growing up, and it's mostly tangled.
Yeah. It just seems like noise and inconvenience.
Also, not helpful if you're like changing and don't have a door.
Yeah, that's also
You might want to
not
get an
good.
actual curtain for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Or a
probably
door.
good idea.
Or a door.
Note to past self. Do that.
You walk to the curtain and yank it open. But there's no one there either. It's only a storeroom. And at the far end, there's a door, slightly ajar. As you walk toward it, a trap door opens under your feet, and you plunge downward.
Oh, we're being shanghaied.
You grab frantically at the edge of the floor near the opening, but you miss the land hard and thick. but you miss and land hard on a thick mattress.
Well,
Dazed by your fall, you sit and collect your senses and let your eyes adjust to the darkness. You rise shakily to your feet. The light is dim, but you can see that there's someone else standing in the shadows. The figure emerges. You blink in disbelief. It's Billy.
Yes, we found him.
yay!
Billy, you shout, embracing your friend. What's going on here? Where have you been? What's happened? Well, he says, seems like we fell into some sort of trap.
Oh, great, Billy. Thanks for
No
all the
shit,
help.
Billy.
Yesterday, I came into the shop chasing the guy who snatched my camera, and I ended up down here. But I don't know why we're here.
You seem surprisingly calm for someone who's basically been kidnapped in a strange land.
Well, now you have to understand that Billy has had some kung fu lessons.
oh, right.
Yeah.
So he's a master of his
So
own.
he's not a master, but he can take care of himself. So he's a little bit more sure of himself.
Now it's like a what's it called when you play a video game and you have to have someone trail behind you?
A follower, like a
Companion.
Companion.
It's a companion.
but you're the
mission.
companion.
Exactly.
yeah,
so
you're
like
the
now he has to
useless
protect
one.
you.
Yeah, maybe he'll train you.
Maybe. We have to get out of here, you say, looking around the dungeon. Before whoever set this trap comes back to see who he's caught. What if it was like a dungeon in the modern parlance?
Oh no!
You and Billy look around, trying to think of a way to escape. I have an idea, you say, snapping your fingers. I can stand on your shoulders and try to reach the trap door. I can probably make it if we double up the mattress and you stand on that.
Dangerous.
Actually, Billy says, tipping his fedora. Actually, I'd rather stay here and fight, Billy says, filling the air with kung fu kicks and hand chops.
Oh, Billy.
You can just lift me up out
Yeah.
of this room and you can stay here and fight.
I owe somebody for ruining our vacation.
Oh boy.
Oh, Billy.
It's not ruined
Billy.
if you get captured for one day and then escape for the rest of the trip. Then it's just a little
It
adventure.
kind of actually makes the vacation better.
Yeah.
I think more vacations should
have
have near kidnappings
Yeah.
and escapes in them.
You'd be like, remember that time we were in that dungeon?
Yeah.
I wish I could have
didn't
taken a picture, but they stole my camera.
Oh, that was great. And then we had those margaritas.
Yeah. I didn't eat for a whole day.
Ew. You tried to climb out the trap door. Turn to page 94. You decide to stay and fight. Turn to page 76.
If you decide to get murdered, turn to page 76.
Right.
Maybe
You
that
have
won't
no
happen.
kung fu training in this version of what we're at.
Right.
Correct.
And Billy's a child.
I would imagine Billy is your age, and
Yes.
you are a child, and Billy has either freckles or terrible acne.
Right.
Yeah. No, I thought
So-
Billy didn't. You had either freckles or terrible acne.
Nope.
No, it's
Billy.
Billy.
No, that's Billy.
Billy.
But he has an amazing sense of 1989 style, seeing as Billy is the one in the
Right.
giant T-shirt and the
Okay.
jams.
All right, my
So-
bad.
Oh, now do we want to try to get out of this? Or I kind of want to just see Billy fight and then get a taste of his own comeuppance and realize he's not all that he thinks he is. Maybe he'll learn something.
Well, I was going to say climb out, but now I like Ryan's idea.
I did too. I was
You guys are
like-
such shitty friends to Billy. You're just using him for the trip to
The
China.
more we learn about Billy, though, he is kind of a dick. He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, and he cheats at checkers sometimes.
Oh,
we
right.
found
Sometimes
out.
he
So
cheats
it's
at- How do
totally
you cheat
coming.
at checkers?
I don't know.
You like jump and you're like, wait, that wasn't a jump. It's like, no, I was here, and no, I wasn't.
Oh, I thought it was just never moving the back row.
Oh, that could be.
That's not cheating.
Or
It's
then
strategy.
Then he just like takes your piece and be like, no, that's what happened, and puts it on the side and goes, your move. And one of those like, what?
and in fairness to Stacy and Brian, I wanted to pull myself out and then leave him there.
All right,
give him
you
what he
just
wants.
Escape and
Yeah.
yeah.
Bye,
I think
bitch.
I think the implication is that
You
take
would
it
help
with
him once you got up. Yeah.
It says try to escape too. We might not be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to.
We would immediately get drugged by someone.
Yeah, yeah. I've learned from this podcast. Sometimes trying to run away and escape leads to worse
Yeah.
things.
Trying not to be kidnapped by someone leads to being kidnapped.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So we're gonna watch him fight.
Watch him
Just stay and
fight.
fight, yeah.
Have at it, Billy.
We're gonna
Take your
stay
bets.
and do some karate or kung fu.
Or kung
okay.
fu.
All right. Let's find out what happens when we stay. Two small children, one slightly trained and one not trained at all, try to take on some actual kung fu adults.
Yep.
Right after this quick word from our sponsors.
SexyHackers.com.
Today's episode of Sexy Hackers is brought to you by Sal's Beaded Curtains. Do you hate privacy? Do you like announcing your presence every time you enter or exit a room? Are you kind of tacky? Well then come on down to Sal's Beaded Curtains. We have beaded curtains of all shapes and sizes of beads. Come on down and run your fingers through our lovely merchandise. Wait, no, don't. Oh, and now you've tangled it. And if you tangled it, you bought it. That's right. Sal's Beaded Curtains. Cleverly hidden off Highway 94 next to the adult cheese store. Sal's Beaded Curtains. Clack, clack, clack.
SexyHackers.com.
And we're back to turn the page fun. Get your beaded curtain today. We are currently reading.
I'm definitely going to that.
I want to know
cheese
more
store.
about that adult cheese.
Yeah,
store.
absolutely.
The best of both
Making me
worlds.
so hungry and other things.
Hungry.
Come on down to the adult cheese store. Hungry, horny.
Hungry.
Other thing?
Hungry.
We got fancy cheeses. We got cheeses shaped like things. Right next to the bee store.
Hungry.
Not at all hidden.
We are in your face about it. And in other things.
Oh.
I made it gross.
I made a
We are currently reading Master of Kung Fu by Richard Brightfield. And so far in our story, we have found our friend Billy, who has disappeared on our trip to Shanghai. Billy knows a little bit of Kung Fu. His camera was stolen, and he followed the thief into a camera shop, and he fell down a trap door. We found the camera shop the next day and fell down the same trap door.
Right.
And now we have decided to fight our way out.
Well, we've decided to let Billy try to fight his way out.
Right. And just a quick reminder, you are a pre-adolescent child.
Yep.
Billy is of your same age and knows some Kung Fu.
Yes. Yes, yes.
You and Billy are still arguing about how to fight your captors when you hear heavy footsteps on the floor above. You stand back in case someone falls through the trap door.
Smart.
Yeah.
But someone yanks up the door instead. Then you hear hammering. Someone is nailing the trap door shut.
Oh, that's not good.
Then the footsteps fade away. A moment later, you hear pounding on the wooden door to your underground prison. "Well, they're nailing that door shut too!" Billy exclaims. He pounds on the door. "Let us out! We're American citizens!" The hammer stops.
Oh.
You and Billy stand in the darkness. "What do we do now?" Billy asks you desperately. You look frantically about the room, seeking a means of escape. Start digging, you say, kicking at the dirt floor, and let's hope we dig our way out of here fast
All the
before
way
we
down
run
to
out
the
of
United
air.
States.
You're digging a hole to the United States there?
Yeah.
You and Billy are galvanized into action. You dig to save your lives. You lose track of time, but eventually, you dig your way into another room. You escape and take the next plane back home, wondering all the way who kidnapped you and why. The end.
Lame. I wanted him to have to eat Billy.
Very
You're down there
gruesome.
forever.
I want to know what the purpose was of
Yeah,
kidnapping
what?
two kids that you're just like, Hope you die down there.
Yeah.
Here's the plan. We kidnap them, and then they die down there.
Oh yeah, we're also gonna put a big
To get the
mattress
camera.
down so that they don't hurt themselves, but also we're gonna let them starve to death.
Yeah.
Like we don't want them to starve to death with a broken leg.
But they're American citizens.
Oh man, we better leave him in there.
Well, we
He
got
was
his
good. He
camera.
let him out. Then he said he was American. He was like, nah, let
Oh,
him die
yeah.
down there.
We have problems with your foreign policy.
American. I don't need to hammer on
so-
this door anymore.
Climb
Yeah,
up.
we got to climb out of that
Absolutely.
trapdoor.
Yeah,
we gotta
let's
climb out.
see what happens when we climb out of the trapdoor. But before we do that, let's see who this person is that wrote this book.
Yeah.
Let's do a quick about the author. To kind of get an idea of what the hell he's thinking.
And about the illustrator, maybe, so we can,
yeah.
because he was
And
not
about
paying
this
attention.
Illustrator was not paying attention. Sure. All right. Richard Brightfield is a graduate of Johns Hopkins University, where he studied biology, psychology, and archaeology.
And not Chinese culture at all.
No.
Archaeology, maybe? No, probably not.
For many years, he worked as a graphic designer at Columbia University. He has written The Deadly Shadow, The Phantom Submarine, The Secret Treasure of Tibet, Invaders of the Planet Earth, Planet of the Dragons, and Hurricane, and the Choose Your Own Adventure series. In addition, Mr. Brightfield has co-authored more than a dozen game books with his wife, Glory. The Brightfields and their daughter, Savitri, live in Gardner, New York. Oh,
It's a cool name.
yeah.
Glory Brightfield.
That's about him.
All right.
Yeah. The illustrator Frank Boyle studied at the Pratt Institute. He has worked as an illustrator for many national magazines and now creates and draws cartoons for magazines as well. He has also worked in advertising and children's educational materials and has drawn and collaborated on several newspaper comic strips, including Annie.
Ooh.
Does anybody know what Annie is?
Annie the orphan.
Little Orphan Annie? Yeah.
Gross. Okay.
All right.
A native of Brooklyn Heights, New York, Mr. Bowl now works and lives in Westport, Connecticut. Okay.
Great.
Cool.
That is no insight. Into,
Yeah.
No, not at
that's,
all I got
guess-
from that is yes, they have no idea about anything China.
Yeah.
Well, I think I remember that detail about Bodhidharma. I'm pretty sure that's accurate back in the shout. So maybe he did.
Maybe he
little
like
bit,
looked it up
a
in an
modicum of
Encyclopedia
research.
Britannica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably about
Shoved
that.
it into the book.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, on the back of the book, aren't the prices just like Australia and New Zealand?
Yes. I think there is. Yeah. So
Oh.
in case you are buying it in Australia and New Zealand, they have a recommended price of $3.95 Australian dollars and $4.95 New Zealand dollars.
Ooh.
And this is 1989 money.
Oh, so I have no idea what
Yeah,
that means.
I don't know what that means. Probably like
Affordable?
$16.
Which now in today's money is $1,000.
$1,000.
Well, in the 80s, how expensive was it to go from New Zealand to Australia? Because maybe you should have just gone over to Australia, bought the book, and then gone home.
Might as well, I guess.
I don't know how expensive that is.
Are you?
No,
They're pretty close.
Are you concocting a 1980s healthcare scheme only with choose your own adventure books?
Maybe.
Well, it'd just be cheaper to go to Australia, become a citizen, and then buy choose your own adventure books.
They don't ask you if you're a citizen to buy a book.
what are the travel costs of going to Australia
You're talking
for
about
this
a difference of
purpose?
$1, no matter what the inflation rate is.
Well, maybe it's only like 75 cents to go there. Then you're saving a quarter. A penny saved
How
is a
many
penny
books
earned.
are you gonna?
Oh, you got to get a whole bunch for that trip? Yeah, you got to get as many choose your own adventure
Oh,
books.
yeah. If you buy 50 choose your own adventure books, you just save $50.
Sure.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, this is the most ridiculous conversation we've had on this show, possibly.
No way.
Oh, I
Possibly.
mean, they're practically giving those books away. You'd be stupid not to buy 50.
Obviously.
This one's about Australia. I can't wait to read it. I just switched to Australian midway through that sentence. Yep.
Yeah, I wonder how much terror in Australia is. In Australia, is it less? Is it
A
more?
discount for
It's actually a terror
if you
to
can
buy it.
if you can
It's
prove
issued
you're
with your
from.
citizenship.
Here, this contains everything you need to know about
We read
living in
this- We
Australia.
read this in schools so we know what not to do.
Yeah, stranger danger, definitely go with
Yeah.
them.
We learned.
Just as Master of Kung Fu teaches you everything you need to know about being a tourist in Shanghai.
Yep. Someone steals your stuff, just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
That's what we've learned.
or
really.
well, I mean, you could extend your vacation and learn kung fu.
Right. You may be being brainwashed for a secret society, but
I don't think that was what happened.
you think Billy was really the
I think Billy was
assassin?
lying to you.
Oh. It's like an Inception ending where you don't really know. Blah, the top is spinning.
Yeah, the top is
guess-
still spinning as you're talking.
And it has that little wobble, but it doesn't stop.
Post your fan theories in the comments.
That actually just makes me think more of Total Recall. Because at the end of Total Recall, it's like, did any of this happen?
Yeah, because it doesn't fade to black; it fades to white. In a Total Recall, so that's him being lobotomized.
Well, let's try to get out that trapdoor.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to get out that trapdoor after finding out a little bit about
Yes.
the author, which didn't really give us too much insight.
No.
Right.
Except for other fantastic books that he has written.
Oh, yeah.
in the game book series known as Choose Your Own Adventure.
I'm interested in perusing some of those in future episodes.
We have a couple of those
Oh,
already.
good.
You find the door and knock on it.
But I think that
No, that's what. Let me just go. Oh, okay. So 94.
I was like, oh, that was easy.
Great.
Yeah.
Go, let us out, please.
Let's try my escape plan first, you say to Billy. We have nothing to lose. If we get out, we can surprise whoever is responsible for setting this trap. And if we don't, we can stay here and fight. Makes sense, says Billy. The two of you double up the mattress. You take off your shoes and wobble onto Billy's shoulders. You grope for the edge of the trap door and push it up into the room. You manage to get a grip on it and pull it up a little. Give me a shove, you call down to Billy. He grips your ankles and pushes you up just enough so you can pull yourself halfway up through the trap door, opening into the room above. The first thing you see is a figure standing in the dim light above you.
Dun, dun, dun.
And there is a picture. You have rolled up the mattress. I have now decided that these are definitely jean shorts.
Yeah.
That you were wearing?
That you are wearing
Okay.
definitely jean shorts and your polo shirt. And then Billy, who is so rad,
He's rocking those.
is wearing his
shorts,
amazing
jams.
triangle, his amazing geographic shape jams, and his giant extra large or even 2XL t-shirt.
I'm going to say that shirt is some sort of day glow color.
Yes.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
like all the really cool kids.
He's like a wild and crazy kid.
wild and crazy kids.
Yep. No
What
one
just
else.
happened?
No,
Television game show on Nickelodeon
crazy kids.
called Wild and Crazy
Yeah,
Kids.
and that was and they would do like feats of strength against each other, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And then they were given T-shirts that they all chose to get extra big.
Yep.
Obviously.
Just like in Wishbone, where one of the main characters wore a shirt that was so large you could barely see the shorts underneath it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's Billy, all right.
That's Billy. He is,
and he's holding us up in a feat of strength.
In a feat of
pretty
strength.
impressive.
Strength of
That
the
is
He's
pretty impressive because
Yeah.
his arms are akimbo and he is still lifting you
Right.
up, and his legs are splayed wide.
That's what you get for being a kung fu master.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go, strength training.
He totally lifts, bro.
He totally lives, bro. Do you even live, bro?
I do, but I
Oh.
do not Uber.
Fair.
Surprised, you slip back through the trap door, hanging by your fingers, half in and half out. The figure leans towards you. Behind you are several others. They are dressed in white kung fu tunics with black sashes around their waist. One of them reaches down and pulls you up. Glad to find you, he says. We worry about our foreign guests. They throw down a rope for Billy and pull him out. When you and Billy are safe, the kung fu leader introduces himself and explains, you are the victim of a ninja plot. Ninja are kidnapping young kung fu fighters. Then they hypnotize fighters and train them to be assassins. Assassins? You and Billy cry in alarm. That was a close one, says Billy. Next vacation, you say to Billy, let's just go canoeing.
Oh, they're not even going to offer to train us this time.
No,
They're just
no.
like,
So you get saved by
by the real
some
kung fu.
people.
Yep.
And you're just kidnapping young kung fu kids.
And then everyone just laughs.
Yep. And then you leap into something else, like an orangutan.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was oh boy.
I liked that ending. That
Did
was
you?
That
well,
one?
no, that wasn't the best one. But I just mean like if it were me, weren't me just saying like, oh yeah, a little light kidnapping, and then they can go and do the rest of their trip.
Oh, yeah.
They only
Right.
missed one day, and they
Right.
missed going to the Shanghai Temple, so
Right, where
nobody's
they
gonna
would've
get
been-
blasted to the past.
Right. There's no rocks involved.
Yeah.
Into the forehead.
That we know of.
That we
Yeah.
know of.
Okay. So, yeah. So that's another ending of this book.
Yeah.
We can see. I think we have time to see what else
like
can
one
happen
more.
in this crazy
Sure.
Shanghai adventure. We could either go back to the past and see what happens there and try to
yeah.
find that, or we can go to the hotel after we have our little kung fu scuffle.
Yeah, I think the hotel.
Kung Fu
Yeah.
Scuffle is
Or
another
we could
fun thing to say.
not take the night. No, I'm gonna keep that choice in my heart always. Always take the night basket.
Yes.
Always
take the night basket.
All right, so we're gonna go back because that's what could have happened. But we're gonna go back and see what happens when we follow the man, get into a kung fu fight, and then tell the man that saved us in the kung fu fight, "Nah, I'm gonna go back to the hotel." Right after
Good,
this
thanks.
quick word from our sponsors.
SexyHackers.com.
This episode of Turn the Page Fun brought to you by Jams. The height of 1990s fashion. Jams. Geometric shapes. Radical. All the way down to mid-shin. Yeah. Jams. Jams. The bossest shorts around.
SexyHackers.com.
And we are back to Turn the Page Fun.
Fun.
So before the last segment, we said that we wanted to see what happens if we just said, nah, brah, I'm good. After I get in this kung fu fight, I'm going to go back to the hotel. I looked into it. I cheated a little bit, and I found out that takes you down a rabbit hole of another 5-6 pages before you come to another decision.
Ain't nobody got time.
And
for that.
ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
Nobody got time for that. But that's definitely something that you can find out for yourself when you read this book. Instead, what's been gnawing at us since episode 1
Yeah.
is when we go to the Shaolin Temple and we hit our head and become a master of Kung Fu. We were given a choice on whether or not we were going to go and save the Emperor or go to the West and help the foreigners. So now we're going to go ahead and see what happens when we, as a time-traveling young American child, Shaolin monk,
Right?
go to the West after becoming a Kung Fu master and help the foreigners.
Foreigners.
Right.
And this may or may not be a dream.
This may or may not be a dream,
It might not.
but all you need to know is that you did hit your head
Yep.
and you are now magically a Kung Fu master.
A kung fu master.
You are hype manning so hard right now, Brian.
That's right. I'm excited.
You decide to go and protect the foreigners in the western provinces. You are put in command of a dozen Shaolin fighters on horseback and ride west with them into the mountains. Your guide and right-hand man is a tough old Mongolian named Ochibal. Several weeks later, you reach a small trading post by the edge of the desert near the Great Wall of China. You trade your horses for camels and pack them with supplies for a trip across the barren wasteland. Yeah, I hope you traded with a short, angry German man with a monocle.
Yeah.
The
And
grandmother.
I hope that you gave him a terrible deal.
Yeah. Because he does not know how to negotiate for camels.
Suddenly, Ochibal points toward a small cloud of dust on the desert horizon. His eyesight is as keen as an eagle's. Horsemen are coming this way, he says. Probably bandits. You prepare to defend the trading post. Turn to page 97. If you retreat back into the mountains, turn to page 88.
Retreating back into the mountains sounds very Tolkien.
Yeah, and not rad at all.
No, not at all.
I say we fight these guys.
them.
You're a
Let's-
master of kung fu.
Master of, and I believe there's another rad picture. We are armed in this.
We are very well armed
got
in this.
like a
As
halberd.
a master of kung fu, we are looking. We are wearing lamellar armor.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's the name of it. That's with the little plates all sewn together with leather straps. We have a pole arm and a
Well,
katana in
yeah,
our
that's-
back, which is
That's not. Just
Not
get a Chinese
right.
broadsword. It's not that hard. I think Dao. Yeah, I think those are called Dao as well.
Yes, the Chinese. Yeah. And then there's a large man talking and pointing across the wall. Okay, so the bandits are coming, but then there's the wall. So it's like, oh, there's the wall there. Why would we need to worry about
Just,
it?
I guess
Illustrations. This guy
what
needs
is-
to go
he looks
back
like
to.
a prospector or something that's talking to us. Is that our Mongolian friend?
That's our Mongolian friend Ochibal.
I also feel like we just were like, oh, there's people coming, probably bandits.
Probably.
So like, just set up, be like ready to defend yourself,
Ready.
and then they show up, and maybe it's fine.
Yeah, let's defend the. I say we defend the trading post.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Action.
How bad could it be?
Why would you say that?
Yeah, I regret it now. But
In preparation for defending the trading post, you hide your fighters in a few buildings.
montage.
When the bandits arrive, intent on plundering the village, the element of surprise is on your side.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
there are too many of them. You are outnumbered 5 to 1. Suddenly, Ochibal shouts something in Mongolian, and they all stop. It turns out that the leader of the bandits is Ochibal's long-lost brother.
Oh, that's nice.
That's not where I thought that was going.
Ochibal points to you, and speaks to his brother in Mongolian. This is my friend, a skillful fighter, a master of kung fu, as well as a renowned teacher of the martial arts. Teacher is the magic word. They take you and Ochibal back to the bandit stronghold. You live there the rest of your life, teaching the bandits the Shaolin way of life. The end.
Not a dream.
Wow. Wow. Crazy. So we're like the bandit king now, right?
Yeah, right?
Or did we become nice?
I just feel like you're a traitor.
Like
Like you're teaching bandits how to use kung fu.
Well, maybe you taught them that the true strength
the
comes
Shaolin
from
way
peace.
of life, wherein it's meditation
Right.
and peace, and so
Sure.
they stop banditing, and then they eat like a bowl of rice and some vegetables
yeah.
every
Sure.
day before lunch.
The true master finds a way to avoid the fight.
That's true. Avoiding violence.
Yeah,
Or you're the bandit king.
Well,
and
the
I'm
best
okay
way to
with that.
avoid violence is have whoever's leading you find their long lost brother.
Yeah, that was.
And then that long lost brother is
convenient.
the leader of the bandits.
Wonder how many people died before they figured that out, too. It was
Right?
like, hey, wait a minute. Is that you, bro?
Yeah.
Do we have time to go back into the mountain?
I was going to say, I want to know what happens
yes.
in
I
the
think
right.
we have time to go back.
Let's
into
go to the mountains.
Yeah, let's
that,
do it.
that was a good ending, though.
We also didn't get to do our quest. We just were like, oh, I'm going to
Oh,
teach
well-
these bandit stuff.
Oh yeah, to protect the people. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I think protecting the foreigners is.
Oh,
fighting
Maybe
the
sure.
maybe if you teach the bandits, they become like the new Shaolin forces of that province.
Oh. So it's like
was a good
teaching people to
ending.
do something so you don't have to do something. Like my parents did with making me wash the dishes.
Yes, it is like that. It is like that.
All right, so we're gonna go and
Sure, let's
Yes.
see what happens if we retreat to the mountains.
back to the mountains.
Abandon our post.
You leave the camels and remount your horses, and you and your band of fighters gallop back into the mountains near the village. You make your way up the steep, treacherous mountain trail. Your horses keep slipping and sliding on the loose footing. You order the fighters to dismount and lead their horses up the dangerous mountain path. But when you finally reach the top, your horse is spooked by the scent of a mountain lion.
No.
It rears up and kicks out. You grab the reins and try to calm the horse down, but the animal is too frightened. Its flank hits you and sends you flying over the side of the cliff.
It's flank.
Yeah, its
Probably
butt.
Its butt
Butt.
hits you, but you're on it.
Get
No, you're
butt
guiding
butted.
it.
Oh,
How did
okay.
you know it was a
All right.
mountain lion? Do you also smell mountain lion?
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, you're a Shaolin monk, duh.
Yeah. but also, mountain lion's not in this region, probably. But
As you are flying through space, you see a small pond among the rocks below. Your only hope is to land in the water.
If
By
you
using
try
the
to-
force?
You twist
Challenge.
and turn as you fly through space. Just another foot, one more, and you can hit the water.
Damn the beach turd.
Well, it's water. I'm sure it won't hurt.
You wake up. Someone is splashing water on your face. It's Billy. Billy! You jump to your feet and stare at your friend in disbelief. Suddenly, you feel dizzy from the crack on your head. Billy helps you to a bench in the garden.
Oh.
Billy, you say, overjoyed at finding your friend at last. Where have you been? I got lost chasing the guy who stole my camera. I couldn't find my way back to the hotel right away, and when I finally did, you were gone. I just caught up with the tour. Boy, am I glad to see you.
It was fine.
You must have had some kind of crazy dream, you realize. But the dream seemed so real. And it went on for so long. Sure did. You never had a dream like that before. It's almost as if you traveled back to a previous lifetime. But maybe all dreams are like that. Are you all right? Billy asks, looking at you curiously. By the way, what happened to your hair? What's wrong with my hair? You ask, carefully feeling the bump on your head. Then you realize what Billy was talking about. Your head's been shaved.
I was thinking that.
What? The end.
Okay, that one's the craziest one. So did you get knocked out and they like started shaving your head? They're like, oh shit, someone's coming.
No, it's like you actually went back in time,
You
and
did
then
go
you
back.
hit your head again,
And then you went,
and then it knocked you back in time.
Oh.
If you've ever read Outlander or watched the TV show,
Oh.
but
This is
but that's kind of
poor
an
Outlander.
Yeah, basically.
Because there are no sexy Scottish men falling in love with you at
No.
every turn.
it's just Billy.
Although you are being empowered,
Yes.
It's true.
Yes.
and
So-
also not having to talk to your mom about a sex book.
That's true.
Does that happen in I only
No,
watched
if you read the book,
Oh.
then you talk to your mom because she also read it.
Oh, cool.
If by you mean you in this
Me.
case.
This is a
specifically.
personal story.
Yes.
Anyway,
So in the scenario when we became like the bandit, when we joined with the bandits, are we just in a coma for the rest of our life?
I
It's
don't
just
know.
like a weird. Oh, what is
the
reality?
one you woke up on the plane, and then the other one you woke
Right.
up in the garden. So
Oh,
but when you
man.
wake
totally
up on the
different.
plane, you still have all your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're just like, oh, why did we do that?
This,
Now
this
I'm.
book has multiple
What
genres.
is reality?
This book is like it's all over the place. I think you're right that
Maybe we should all go meditate about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Really.
Charles Kochman is just
Billy.
slang for cocaine.
Here's to Charles. Here's to you, Charlie.
That's
Give
why
you
him and his
Charlie
wife do
Kochman.
it together.
Yes. I wrote a choose your own adventure book in 3 hours.
All the
Thanks to
endings.
Charlie Kochman. All right, so now comes
All
the
right.
time where we are going to review Master of Kung Fu and give our final thoughts on this book. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Miss Stacy Pulowski. Well, what are your thoughts on this book? And out of one, if you could give me a rating of 1 to 10 Outlanders, how many Outlanders?
How about baskets?
would,
Night
or
baskets?
Night baskets.
also 1 to 10 Outlanders or 1 out of 5 Night Baskets.
Yes.
How many do you give this book?
I would give this book 2.4 night baskets.
Oh,
all
okay, right down the middle.
Yeah.
Out of 5? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was terrible, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I like ninjas and all. I mean, I had some good, cool endings.
like,
a lot of them were kind of predictable, I guess.
Yeah, I just okay. I have my thoughts. Brian,
All right.
out of on a rating of 1 to 5 Night Baskets, 1 to 10 Outlanders, What do you give this book?
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 night baskets.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know what that converts to with Outlanders.
That would be 6 Outlanders.
6 Outlanders.
So you think this
Oh,
book
yeah.
is as good as 6 Outlanders?
Six?
Is what you were
is
saying.
it 6 times the Outlander, or is it like 6
Outlander's
tenths?
really long too.
Yeah,
so
six
that's
tenths
6
an hour.
Outlanders.
3/5 of an Outlander.
No,
yeah.
it's as good as 6 Outlanders.
I don't understand. Anyway, I thought. Don't make me do math.
I'm giving a nonsensical rating to a nonsensical book.
That's true. There was a lot of uncertainty, which I felt kind of confused things. I was really disappointed by the ending where we went back to confront Billy, and it was very unsure. I would have liked to see a total throwdown between us and our friend. So there was, I think, some wasted potential. That's why I'm giving it 3 out of 5 night baskets.
Right. Now, Liv, how do you feel?
Oh man.
Yes.
So I've been following the podcast. So I've listened to 2 other books. I would be giving this probably 4 to 5 night baskets.
Really?
Yeah, because no children were actually murdered. Like
No.
you survive in every scenario.
That is true.
I like the ending where it's like, was it the past? Like, I like that there's a lot of like, what happened? It feels like if you were to be a lazy kid like I was and just read one ending, you could get a completely different genre out of all of them. Whereas there are some other books where you just get murdered in the end.
Yeah.
And you become something that someone finds in the future. And you didn't have to go to fat camp.
No.
No.
A rich kid at fat camp.
Well, not in
So-
this episode.
Yeah. So
in
what?
this book.
Outlanders, that would be 8 out of 10.
8. As good as 8 Outlanders.
Yeah. Well, if it's Outlanders, I think it's 11 because Outlanders way too long.
Yeah.
And the audiobook, the person who reads in the audiobook sucks.
Ooh.
That's right.
Strong
Shade.
words coming from Liv Shearsall.
Shade is thrown.
Yeah, that's right.
Shade
Like
is thrown.
A shuriken from a ninja.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am giving this a 0 out of 0 out of 0.
Wow.
I despise this book.
To be fair, you also read all the racist stuff that none
there
of
is.
us
That's true.
heard.
Oh, I have masked you from. Okay.
I will dock it a night basket for the racism.
I will also docket a night basket for the racism.
Yes.
I'm holding true to my night baskets.
Well, you had a decimal in there, so I don't even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although-
Yeah. Oh, just as a general. Instead of horsemen are coming this way, of course, Ochibal says horsemen coming this way. That's
just like a casual.
just as a casual. But even better, worse is here's just a little bit of dialogue. Somebody is saying, "We go find friend, make a big raid." Is some dialogue from this book. It's all over. I found it to be all over the place.
Oh, that's what I like
found
about it.
that it seems to me that Mr. Brightfield did not know what he was writing or why. And he took you on weird adventures that didn't amount to anything.
And having 2 that we read actually be dream sequences, basically.
Yeah.
Right. And he
It's two
doesn't
cop-outs.
explain the rules of your dream sequence.
Oh yeah, because
Sure.
one
In
was
any way,
was
shape,
it
or
a dream?
form. He doesn't explain the rules of the dream sequence. He also, even in the modern time, when you go down the trap door, he's not telling you
Why?
why, who, where. He's just like, oh, who were those people? Oh, well.
You'll never find out.
There were-
The
Yeah.
to
And-
defend my night baskets, though, I did just finish watching It Chapter 2. Which I think also had a special acknowledgement to Charlie Kochman. Actually, in fact, I know it did.
I believe every Stephen King book has a special acknowledgement to Charlie.
Yes.
Exactly.
At least from the 80s.
So when you talk about it being all over the place, I'm like, I don't know. This was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
those are my own personal feelings of this book. I would not recommend. However, I am one of 4 voices, and the other 3 saying that they would recommend. So please feel free to find Master of Kung Fu at your local library. Also, because we did tease a way that you could go, which was to go back to the hotel after you got into the Kung Fu hustle.
oh yeah, there's a whole
Kung Fu hustle.
a whole nother episode.
And
there.
there's a whole there might be the best part of this book that we didn't even touch.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Right.
All right. So that was Master of Kung Fu
Yay.
by Richard Brightfield, a book that made Nick angry.
I'm glad I picked it. I'll be invited back for sure.
Actually, you were. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Follow us on wherever you find podcasts. We drop every Monday. So thank you so much to Miss Stacy Pulowski.
Yay!
Thank you, Mr. Brian Bear.
Thank you.
Thank you to special guest Liv Shearsall.
Yeah.
Woo!
And thank you to Sexy Hackers for giving us this wonderful space to do this super, super fun podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you to Sexy Hackers for designing incredibly comfortable t-shirts. If you haven't bought a t-shirt, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Yes.
Much like I feel like I did myself a disservice by reading.
One final slam.
Dang.
Ooh. Hashtag Nick Burns.
I love how much you hate this book.
I hate this book so much. I'm like, I can't even rant about it. I'm like being incredibly buttoned up and quiet. Like, well, I'm not being quiet about it, but like I just can't formulate my thoughts.
And it's funny.
But again, thank you so much to Sexy Hackers. They do make a fantastic, awesome, really fun t-shirts.
Yeah.
We do have a Turn to Page Fun t-shirt design as well that you can buy through the website. If you like the show, please buy that t-shirt.
Yeah.
It is very comfortable. And it's got the fun logo on the front of it. Thank you to Jason, as always, for being an amazing engineer for us, making sure that we are staying on time and we sound great, no matter what we say.
I sound great.
And lastly, thank you for being you, listening to us, read to you. With that, I will see you next time through your ears on Turn to Page Fun!
Wild and crazy kids.
Jail!
SexyHackers.com! Stream Team!